Hey everyone, it's Professor John McKinney here, and if you clicked on this video, that means that you're interested or you're considering adding, HR management as a major for you at UTC. So that's what this video is going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about why you may want to do it, what opportunities there are when you graduate, and then kind of my own personal experience as well. Now, I do want to say that I am not an academic advisor, right? I don't hold that title. I don't have that job. So, if you're needing to talk to someone specifically about what program or graduation requirements would look like if you were to change your major or possibly add a double major, you'd need to go talk to one of those individuals. A little bit about my experience is that I'm actually a UTC graduate myself. So I graduated with my undergrad in December of 2016, and then I quickly went in to get my MBA right afterwards while working full-time as well. And I graduated with my master's degree in 2019 from UTC. My experience was that I came into UTC knowing that I wanted to work in business. My dad had always worked in business. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a manager. I wanted to grow within an organization to become a director level or a president of a company to really be able to lead an organization to success. As I started taking my classes and working, I realized that I really had a passion for kind of like leading business operations, but from the people perspective, right? So making sure that you have the right people in place, making sure that you're paying people accordingly to be able to get the outcomes you want. And ultimately, I took this class, right? I took the human resource management class at UTC, and I learned that what I was looking for as a general management major was actually more closely related to the human resource management major instead. So what I did at that time was I actually reached out to my academic advisor. I talked to a few other of my friends that were taking classes, and I realized that I was able to get a double major. So I got a double major in both general management and human resource management. And at the time, it maybe added one extra class to my course load to be able to have a double major. And I thought between having general management and human resource management that would give me a big enough scope to be able to work in organizations doing the type of work that I wanted to do. I did that as I went through the HR management program, just realized how much I really enjoyed it. When I think of staffing, there's a lot of similarities between like recruiting and marketing, which is something that I've always generally had some interest in. If you like accounting, or you like statistics, or you like finance, right? You can actually deal with those topics, but related to compensation, right? And benefits with employees. So human resources gets to touch on a variety of different areas within business itself. So, that's my experience. I think it was a great decision for myself. Of course, I probably am a little biased because it now what I'm able to do is I'm able to work with students, to teach HR practices and management practices. I've gotten to travel the world doing human resources, and so I'm really pretty biased to it. But human resource management, it is attracting, hiring, rewarding, developing, and training workers to achieve business goals. And so that was everything I was looking for, right? Getting to be able to hire people strategically to reach goals really affects the organization as a whole. There's a couple quotes that I want to give you to talk about it. So one comes from Steve Wynn, who's the CEO of Wynn Resorts Limited. And he says that human resources isn't a thing that we do. It's a thing that runs our business. And Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, says that the secret to my success is that we have gone to exceptional lengths to hire the best people around the world. So when you think of both those leaders, right, two really successful people, they both talk about the influence that human resources has on the overall organization and being successful. So one thing with HR majors is that companies really started to value HR people probably about 15 years ago. They started to realize the importance that HR plays on the overall business strategy and objectives. But what's really fascinating is someone that I had a couple years of experience working pre-pandemic, probably about 4 years or 5 years working before the pandemic hit. And so I got to see what HR was like before the pandemic, and then I got to see afterwards. And what's fascinating to me is the growth of importance that human resources people have had in organizations since the pandemic. So when you look at positions across when you look at positions across the business function, I saw a lot of times where accounting and finance people kind of stayed at the same level to business leaders. Same with like operations people or general managers. But what you really saw was there was kind of like a takeoff with marketing. And then there was also really a takeoff with HR professionals. And so during the pandemic, I saw people's salaries. I mean, some people's salaries were doubling when they were going to different companies from before the pandemic to after. And that's just because of the value that HR practitioners brought with being able to take care of people and get people to want to work at a company and how to find staff during the staffing shortage. And so, there is a pretty high demand for HR professionals, especially good ones out there. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm not an academic advisor. So if you have additional questions, I mean, you're always welcome to reach out to me, and I can tell you my personal experience and my own thoughts. But if you're wanting to get like the official information on how to become a HR major or how to double major, or you're curious about the graduation requirements, you need to go talk to your College of Business academic advisor. Or you can also reach out to career services or any of the department heads as well to kind of, get direction from them on what to do next. If you have any questions, reach out. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I just wanted to share my experience with you. And, if you are interested in, becoming a major at UTC, I don't think you could go wrong with that decision.